Hey guys, I'm here today with my naked face because I'm going to be trying out some brand new base products and I'm really excited. I'm sure you guys have all heard about the brand new Pretty Fresh collection from Colourpop, and today we've got it to test out. So I do have the Prime and Set Kit, which I'm actually really excited about. This has hyaluronic acid and coconut water in it, so those are both going to help hydrate the skin, which is great going into fall and winter. So here's this cute little box, and you just pop this guy open, maybe pull here. No. Okay. So we have the blending sponge. So let's take a peek next to a beauty blender. This sponge is a little softer in feel. These are obviously both dry sponges, but this is definitely a little bit softer in feel, and it obviously has that flat tapered end. I actually don't use the full-size beauty blender very much. I use the beauty blender blushers a lot for my concealer. That's really the main beauty sponge that I care to use, is the beauty blender blusher. So I'll be interested to see how I feel about this one. The second product in the kit will be the Pretty Fresh Hydrating Hyaluronic Acid Primer. So Colourpop says this is a lightweight hydrating primer that refreshes and preps the skin for makeup application, ideal for combo, dry, and normal skin types. So obviously this is not really meant for those of you that have oily skin. I would say I'm more on the combo to normal side most of the year. At least that's what I am right now. Probably going into winter I'll maybe be a little bit more dry, but still feeling more on that like combo side by the end of the day. I get a little bit shiny on my forehead and especially on my nose, but I just got back from a trip to South Dakota and I did not realize how dry the atmosphere was there. Even though it rained like pretty much every day we were there, I came home and I felt like really dehydrated in my skin. So I feel like the cool weather and the wind and probably just that dry climate made my skin pretty dry. So this will be really nice to use. And then we have the Hydrating Hyaluronic Setting Mist. So this is a microfine, refreshing setting mist that hydrates for healthy looking skin, and it's ideal for all skin types. So I'm excited to try this. I probably have 7 billion setting sprays, but you always need a new one. So setting sprays are always one of those things that I'm looking for my new favorite. The other product that I got that I'm so excited for is the Pretty Fresh Hydrating Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer. So this is obviously going to be more on the lighter side of coverage, which is really what I prefer as far as like my all over skin needs. My go-to every day is either the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue, and I thought that they were calling that a tinted moisturizer at one time, but now it says like tinted gel or something. But it basically is a tinted moisturizer. So I love that Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue. If you guys have watched any of my videos, you know that that is basically my everyday go-to, whether it's the gel or the stick. And the stick does have a little bit more coverage, but it's still, in my opinion, pretty like light to medium coverage. So Colourpop says that this is a hydrating tinted moisturizer with skin perfecting lightweight coverage for fresh, healthy looking skin. So we're going to give this a go. I'm really going to be interested to see how it compares to my Bare Minerals. So I'm imagining that this has a much lower price tag from the Bare Minerals, but I don't see that this does have a sunscreen on it, and that's one thing that the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue has that I enjoy. So that would be the one thing that this is lacking. So let's go ahead and get started. I just forgot I had one more thing in my Colourpop order that I forgot to tell you guys about, and that's the BFF bundle with the mascara, the cream gel color, and the cream gel liner. Because I don't know if you remember before, I think I had used the blue Colourpop mascara, and I was talking about how I wish they had like a burgundy color, and to me that's exactly what this looks like. So you've got the mascara and a gel liner, and then you have one of the pencil liners. So I am really excited to try out this set because this is something that I think I will get a lot of use out of this fall. I feel like this color looks really great up against my eye color, and it's a great accent color. So I think I'm gonna be using these in my next video. If you guys haven't been able to watch yet, because I probably will put it up before this video, but I have the So Jaded palette, and I'm doing a 2 looks 1 palette because I'm doing a his and hers. I'm letting my boyfriend pick out 5 shades from the palette, and then I'll make an eye look with his 5 shades and then do 5 shades of my own. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm hoping that I'll get a chance to use these within that eye look. Okay, now back to our face. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the primer. I do have some moisturizer on my face right now. I'm just using, earlier today I used the Honey Drop Moisturizer from Pharmacy. So that's the only thing that I have on my face right now. So the headband is on, and now we mean business. So first impression, oh, it smells pretty good. I can definitely get the coconut, and it's actually pretty thick. Like, if you've used the primerizer from Smashbox, that one is like thinner than this. So I definitely think that this is probably gonna be quite hydrating. I used 1 full pump, and I would bet that I probably didn't need quite that much. Yeah, I can definitely tell that this is gonna be super hydrating. We'll just rub the excess into our hands. So I feel really hydrated. I think you'll really enjoy this if you have pretty dry skin. I can tell that it's probably gonna be a little much for my skin right now. What I probably should have done is used it on the outer parts of my face, and then, because that's where it's like really kind of dry right now, but I have a feeling that especially just using a tinted moisturizer is really gonna make my nose fairly shiny pretty quickly, but it does feel really nice and thick. So I also just used a little too much. So right off the bat, that feels pretty nice. I'll use it a couple more times and let you guys know how I feel. Definitely get a little bit of that nice like hydrated glow. It's not shiny at all, but you do get just that like fresh skin look. All right, so I got the shade Light 7W, and that is the one thing I was really having a hard time picking a shade off of the Colourpop website. I was trying to look at the arm swatch picture that they have, and then the pictures of the models that they said were like the shades, and I tend to be neutral to warm, so I just wasn't sure if I should go with a warm or with a neutral, because I was worried then that the neutral would make me look a little too pink. Anyway, so I got Light 7W. Hopefully it works. If I figured I would rather be a little bit on the light side, because I can always add more bronzer, but if you're too dark, it's a little hard to like go the other way, if you know what I mean. So this is a plastic tube packaging, and it has a pump to it. Just from looking, I feel like I probably did a pretty good job with the color matching, but we'll see. Honestly, I doubt that this would be a product that I would normally use. Here's that blending sponge dampened. I doubt that this is a product that I would use with a blending sponge, because I feel like it's already going to be a lighter coverage, and then to go through with that blending sponge is probably going to sheer it out even more. So I think what I'll do is I'll do 1/2 of my face with the blending sponge and then 1/2 with a brush, and we'll see how it compares. So it's definitely a thicker feel than the Bare Minerals. Oh, maybe not. It's probably, I guess it's maybe pretty similar. Yeah, already I can tell that, and my sponge is fairly wet. I probably could have wrung it out a little bit better, but this feels like pretty non-existent as far as being there with this sponge. I really can't. I don't know, can you guys like even see a difference? I guess it like, no, I'm gonna say I can't really see a difference. I mean, that was just 1 pump. Okay, well, now I'm just gonna go ahead and go over my whole face with a brush. Like I said, I had a feeling I probably wasn't gonna wanna use this sponge anyway, so fingers crossed that it'll work better with a brush. Like I know with my other tinted moisturizers, I don't really, moisturizers? moisturizers. I know with those I usually use a brush. I'm using the It Cosmetics Airbrush Buffing Foundation Brush. So we'll go through on the other side. And I will say that this is probably like one shade lighter than what I need right now, but we are going into fall and winter, and I will definitely lighten up a little bit. I mean, I'm not exactly tan because I didn't get any time out in the sun this summer, so if you guys can see, I definitely like it 100% better with the brush. So I'm gonna just put a pump, like a half a pump, maybe, probably not even a half a pump, and just dot this on the other side to kind of even that out. So yeah, I was talking about having gone to South Dakota. I went for a work trip. I was doing a hair show out there in the Deadwood area. For those of you that don't know, I'm a professional hairdresser, and I'm an educator for John Paul Mitchell Systems. And so I was out there doing a show with an amazing team, and the week before we went out, my boyfriend and I decided to travel out and get a little time to kind of see the sights. I've never been to South Dakota. The week before we left, like up until even the day we were driving out, it was beautiful, 70s, sunny. And then we got out and basically just got in with enough time to eat and go to sleep. And the next day, when we were going to be taking some time to go to Custer and do some other travels, it was like 50 and rainy. So, and that was kind of just basically the way that the weekend went. It was rainy, cold, cloudy the entire time. But it was gorgeous. It was beautiful. We both were like, oh, this just gave us like the feeling that we really need to come back soon. So thanks to everybody in South Dakota for being so sweet and amazing. All right. So, wow. I have to say I was a little disappointed at first because there was like nothing there when I used that blending sponge. I really like the way that looks with the brush. It really is very natural. So I would definitely say that this is going to be a light, maybe up to medium, but I have a feeling a product like this, if you build it up too much, it's going to kind of slip and slide around. So this is really going to be great for those days that you're just looking to put something on quickly, have a little option of like you but better. Obviously, you can do like what I'm about to do and go through with a little bit more concealer, and that will really help you get a little bit more coverage where you need it, which is really what I prefer. I usually just go through with a light coverage, tap on my eyelids and under eyes, just because I get a lot of pigmentation. I've got like pinkier and veiny eyelids. And then as I've gotten older, I've started getting a little darkness right here, probably hormonal stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and go through with the Colourpop No Filter Concealer just to see how these work together. I do really like this concealer. It is not necessarily my favorite, but I have been enjoying it. I hauled it in another video and have been using it. The one thing that I find is that it definitely oxidizes on the skin. So like the color that it is right away when you put it on, even 2 minutes later, it's a little bit darker. So that's one thing to be aware of. I know that Ulta has some Colourpop in the stores, but it doesn't have everything. So, but I do believe that they have this concealer in the store. So we're going to go ahead and use this concealer. And I'm going to use that like kind of as my eye primer too. A little bit down the nose because I always need more coverage there because I'm getting kind of red. And then we'll just dab a little here. Looks like it's going to be a Halloween tutorial. So now let's try this sponge one more time. Like I said, usually I'm using the Beauty Blender blusher. I do have some other ones that I use, but usually it's like that's my number one. Okay, so I really like this, the texture of the sponge. I do personally prefer something a little bit smaller than this because I'm usually just using it for concealer. So next time maybe I'll just use this end, but I also think that this would be really great for cream blush. So I'll definitely have to try that too. I'll have to see how this goes because these are really nice. Do you guys have like a non-beauty blender beauty sponge that you like? I know a lot of people really like the Real Techniques one. That is a little bit, I think, too firm for me. I don't really care for it as much, but it's nice. I know a lot of people use that one. So off the bat, I feel beauty sponge down. So off the bat, I feel like I really like the finish that this tinted moisturizer has. It's a little bit more satin than the Bare Minerals one. The Bare Minerals is pretty pretty dewy. I almost said shiny, but it's not like shiny. So I do like that because then that gives me a little bit more time before I build up my own like dewy look from my oils in my skin. So I have to say I really like it. It looks just nice and satiny. So I think I'm gonna really enjoy that if it has as much like staying power. Obviously it is a tinted moisturizer, so it's not going to be like uber long wear, but if it got me through a day as well as the Bare Minerals did, I think that would be really nice. Like I said, the only con that I know of right now is that this does not have that SPF, which I really do enjoy having that extra bit, but you should be putting on your SPF before all of your skincare anyway, so it should be loaded in regardless. So I'm going to go through and set my face lightly. I'll probably just dust a little bit under my eyes and very, very lightly all over the face. I am like very much not a huge powder user because I have been getting a little bit more glowy by the end of the day. I've just been using a little bit more powder, and again, I'm pretty much always using the Hourglass Veil. If you guys have one that you think performs just as well but is not as expensive, I would love you if you would leave it in the comments below, because this is obviously pretty pricey, but I do love it. I love that it's finely milled and it never makes me look dry or cakey. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set with this. I'll probably do my eyebrows. If you guys wanna see how I'm doing my eyebrows recently, I did just do a feathery brow routine update. If you guys do wanna see that, I'll link it in the description box below. So let me go set and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we have the final face look. I did go ahead and, like I said, do my brows. I went through with some blush and bronzer. I just used the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and then I used the Colourpop blush. This is one of the Kathleen Lights collab blushes. I think it is I Need Space. It's the kind of like mauvey one, so I just thought this would be a good like neutral blush to go through with before the eye look. So final thoughts on this. I mean, obviously this is my first time wearing it and I'll let you guys know what I think, but I really like it. I think it, like I said, I like the finish. It's a little bit less dewy than the Complexion Rescue, and I would say they're about the same amount of coverage, in all honesty. Like once I used that brush, it worked really well. I did really like the consistency of it. It felt a little bit less slippy, which will probably mean that it might actually be longer lasting. The primer I really liked. I felt like it will definitely be great and come in really handy in the winter when I start to get really dry, or I might even try just using it towards the outer parts of my face when I'm looking for that everyday look. I just have a feeling right now, obviously because I haven't had it on that long, it's fine, but it did really smell really great, and it had that like plumping property almost, just because it helped boost my hydration levels. The only thing so far is I'm starting to feel a little bit itchy, and I don't know if that's just me being crazy. I don't know if it's that, like I said, my skin's been pretty dry, so it's a little sensitive right now, but I can feel right through here and a little bit here that my face was getting a little itchy. So I don't know if that's the primer. I don't know if it's the tinted moisturizer. I don't know if maybe it was the concealer, or if, in all honesty, like something that was on that blending sponge irritated me, because I probably should have washed it before I just wet it down and used it. So I'm living like a rebel there, but what I'll do to just kind of see how this goes is maybe tomorrow I'll use the primer with a different foundation that I know I enjoy, and then vice versa, I'll use the tinted moisturizer without the primer and see how I feel about that. The only thing I haven't used yet is the setting mist, so I'm going to go ahead and go through with a light dose of this Obviously, I have no mascara, no eye makeup on, but if you guys want to see what I end up with, you'll have to check out the other video. I will be really curious to see how well this helps makeup last. I doubt it's going to like enhance the lasting power of makeup, just because it is more of a hydrating setting spray. So let's go ahead and give this a shot. It has a very fine mist to it. The first like couple shots that it came out, it almost had like a tss to it, but it doesn't look like it's doing that anymore. So you can definitely smell that coconut water in there. It kind of smells a little bit like a tropical drink. I do like it. We'll see how it goes. I think this will be actually something that I would even like when I'm at work. I keep a little bit of a hydrating spray, especially in the fall and winter time at work, so that I can refresh my face throughout the day, just because I tend to get a little dry, and that just helps like the makeup kind of refresh a little bit. So I might take this to work and see how I like it as like a refresh spray. Yeah, that just kind of, not that I had a lot of powdery look to my face, but it just kind of helped set everything down. All right, so I just wanted to give you guys a bit of a zoomed in look at the end result after I finished with the spray. I'm so sorry that I didn't get you guys zoomed in before I put anything on other than the tinted moisturizer. I should have done that, but hopefully this still gives you kind of an idea of what the finish and the coverage will be like. I do really like it. It's just that more like natural glowy and not too like extra dewy. I will say that I can tell that the setting mist did make it more glowy. Like I felt like it was a little bit more satin before I put that on. So if you feel like you are more on the combo to oily side, maybe you'll want a different setting mist, because this one is definitely going to give you a little bit of a glow. Other than that, I really like it. I think it's going to be something that I'll definitely be using more of. I have to say, like looking at myself right now, I hate it when you have your brows done but you don't have anything else on your eyes done, because it just looks a little bit imbalanced. Like right now, I just feel like it's like brows. Anyway, I hope that that helped you guys. So let's get back to my final thoughts. So far so good. I really like the tinted moisturizer. I think I'm gonna really like this blending sponge, as long as it hasn't got something funky in it that made my face itch. I think I'm gonna really like this for cream blush, and I'll give it a little bit more of a go, but for the price, that's really a great deal if you like a little bit softer blending sponge. And the primer, like I said, I'll have to try the primer and the setting mist out a little bit more, but I think it's a great deal to try it if you're looking for something that has hyaluronic acid in it to help boost hydration a little bit. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed getting to see my thoughts on the new Pretty Fresh collection. I definitely think I'm going to end up liking this tinted moisturizer. It would have been the perfect product for me to come out in the summer, actually, I think, because it isn't quite as emollient as my Bare Minerals, but it's going to be great with that hyaluronic acid for fall and winter. And I'll keep you guys updated on how I feel about all the products. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. Give this video a like. It does really help out my channel, and I will see you guys really soon.